You? Yes. Are you able to call the anesthesiologist?
Someone is coming to take you to labor and delivery.
That's not what I asked.
I cannot, no.
So here's what we know. A TikTok posted by Carrie Jones' mother shows mom to be in visible distress while a nurse asks admission questions as she says she's in active labor. The family claims in a series of videos, which I'm about to show, the staff kept her in a waiting room for more than 30 minutes, and a baby was born 12 minutes after she was finally moved. A spokesperson for the Dallas Regional Medical Center said in a statement, the hospital is reviewing the situation to understand what occurred. Well, we all going to see the videos that occurred in this incident. And the video posted by Carrie Jones' mom has now been viewed more than 23 million times.
Right now.
Is your due date 11?
What?
How many times have you been pregnant?
3.
This is your third pregnancy? You
Yes.
have 2 babies
It's
at
in
home?
my ass.
You have 2 babies at home? Who's your doctor?
Lang is her doctor. Y'all treat all your patients like this or just the black ones?
Okay.
Beverly, this is the first patient for you. My last name is Jones. She's G3P2. I'm not sure when her due date is.
Her due
I
date is
just
the
said it
10th.
was the 10th.
I think her due date's the 10th.
She had 3 pregnancies, 2 babies at home.
2
I bet y'all listen next time. When you found out you was delivering at this hospital, your ass should have changed doctors. Everybody say how they treat people here.
Now, let me just say this real quick. Mom, we don't want to hear what we should or should not have done while we're in labor. That's the last thing we want to hear, but I get it. Because if the hospital has a reputation of treating their patients badly or neglecting them, you should not, I would not want to have a baby there. However, if you have a good doctor, you kind of don't have a say so as to what hospital your baby gets delivered, because you have to go to the hospital depending on who your doctor is. So a lot of times people choose a good doctor over a good hospital.
You ready? You waiting on him? Is that the problem?
Do you know how much
Are y'all for real right now?
Do you know how
So,
much
if
you
she
weigh?
have give birth in a chair, that's what it is?
I can't take her upstairs without these 2. Alright, let me see your
Which is what?
Let me see your
So you'll take a chance of infections and her having a baby in this
Take
chair.
your arm up.
So she's not a priority. Because this right here.
So it says, my phone was in my purse, but the registrar asked me to move her to the side so that they can speak to another person. So here's the clip of the mom explaining the story from beginning to end.
Hello, TikTok family. This is a follow-up on the video that I posted earlier. So I was at work. I had no idea of the activity that was going on. My daughter's texting me, calling me. I didn't know what was going on. So finally I get home, they tell me about the video, and a lot of you was asking about a follow-up and to explain the situation. So this is the situation. My daughter went into active labor at home. We took her to the hospital. She called ahead of time, so we know they are expecting us. However, we get there to the emergency room. We watching nurses, putting gloves on, running to the door. They get outside of the door, and I drive a black SUV, and they look at my vehicle, and one of the nurses come up to the window, and she goes, I'm sorry, this is for ambulance only. I said, well, my daughter is in active labor. And she was like, okay, she said, but you're going to have to go to the front. I'm like, I have to drive to the front. And they said, yeah, you have to drive to the front. Okay, another redhead. And so I'm like, so she's you hear, and it was like, yeah, she started bagging up, hit the button, went back inside the building. So I go around to the front. I get out of the car. Again, this girl is in more pain now than she was when we first left the house. And she starts saying, I feel pressure, I feel pressure. I said, take deep breaths. I ran in. I said, hey, my daughter's in the car. I went to emergency. They told me I had to come to the front. So the lady was like, what's your daughter's name? Told her Kiara Jones. She gets out some paperwork. Started typing in the name. I was like, ma'am, do you have a wheelchair or anything? She's in the car. I need to get her in. Oh, if you check on the other side of those doors where the vending machine's at, there should be a wheelchair out there. There's no wheelchair out there. So she gets up, she walks in the back, and she come to the door with a wheelchair. She said, here you go, ma'am. I said, excuse me, you're not going to come with me? And she was like, no. Oh, okay. So, a police officer was in the lobby. He gets up. He grabbed a wheelchair. He goes out the door with me. He said, come on, I got you. Went out there. She is on hands and knees in the back of the vehicle. And I'm like, oh, shit, what is going on? And then she goes, it's in my ass. And I was like, what? And the guy was like, and she was like, he said, okay, she was like, give me a minute. She could not move. So when that contraction eased, we put her in a wheelchair. He said, you can go park your car, because they, again, had people out there. So I went park my car. It wasn't even 30 seconds. I run back in the building. She's just there with a stack of papers in her hand, screaming that this baby is coming. This baby is coming. I look at the registers behind the window, and they looking at me, and they was like, well, we can't do anything until she signed the papers. Are you fucking kidding me? So I grabbed the papers, and of course, it's all ER bullshit that they have. And I was like, you want her to sign this, and she's in active labor. And they was like, okay. I was like, ma'am, she was supposed to be induced earlier today at 8 o'clock. And they called and told her that they will call her because they didn't have beds. And they will let her know. And no one ever called back. They called back every hour on an hour. And they was like, no, we'll call you back. And then finally, her water break, she called them. They tell her to come in. So why is she signing these papers? We need her in labor and delivery. And it was like, ma'am, I'm sorry. So the charge nurse comes out, and she saw the paper signed. What fucking, are you serious right now? And she closes the door. And then the lady behind the window, at this point, my daughter, scribbled her name on all the papers. We gave it to her. She says, thank you. She walked it around to the charge nurse. She opened up the door. My daughter is literally like having a contraction, and she's just standing there in the door. So we push her into the door. I said, can we get her into labor and delivery? She said, no, we have to fill out all this paperwork. I have to do the paperwork and get her a band before we can send her upstairs. So that was the video that you guys saw that I initially posted. So the next video that has no picture on it was when I was pushing her in and we was at the window because they asked me to move her from the window so they can take care of the guests or, patients that was coming in and out. Do not go to this hospital. This hospital is ghetto as hell. They do not care about black women or their babies. This is crazy. I read about stuff like this all the time, but to see this firsthand, this lady did not care. None of them. It wasn't until we got into labor and delivery where we saw an ounce of care or sympathy for her. Before then, they can care less. She did not care if she gave birth in that wheelchair. That was not her problem or her concern.
Wow. Let me say this because clearly, you don't need a medical degree or certification or medical experience to know that that woman was an emergency. When you are in active labor, especially when contractions are under 5 minutes apart and even under 10 minutes apart, that is an emergency. If you pull up to the emergency and you are a woman in labor or any type of emergency, they're supposed to take you in the back and triage, and you're supposed to have a nurse, doctors check on you to do a pre-checkup to make sure your vitals are stable. None of that didn't happen. And I'm wondering, what if instead of her mom driving her to the emergency, if she would have called the ambulance and she would have called 911 at home and the EMTs, would have came and picked her up, she probably would have been admitted quicker and more better and more professional. But it doesn't matter, because if you pull up to the emergency, and clearly this was an emergency, she was a woman in active labor about to push the baby out at any minute, she should have been rushed to the back and upstairs. You deal with the paperwork later. Or the mom could have stayed downstairs and filled out the paperwork.
I just watched something that absolutely disgusted me. As a former ER nurse and a current labor and delivery nurse, I usually try to seek the best intent of a nurse. Not today. Not today. Because barring you having a medical emergency yourself, where your legs, your arms, and your voice no longer work, there is zero excuse for the blatant neglect that I just watched. And as a reminder, Black women are 3 times as likely to die in and around childbirth than their white counterparts. Part of that is because they are not believed about their pain. How you can sit there on the computer and act like you don't notice that this woman is actively birthing beside you is crazy town to me. Unacceptable, inexcusable. And if you've got coworkers who you watch do something like that, you are just as culpable.
Absolutely. And listen, all over TikTok, you have a lot of white women speaking out against this Black woman's treatment. And that is what we as Black women need. We need you white peoples, particularly you white women, to speak out against the discrimination and racism and mistreatment that Black women continue to experience when she is pregnant. and especially in labor and delivery. And even when she goes to her OBGYN maternity appointments. So let's talk about a little bit of stats here. Medical neglect during active labor that Black women experience. Systemic racial bias in healthcare. A woman's mother accused the hospital of racial bias, highlighting how Black women's pain is often dismissed or minimized in medical settings. This incident exemplifies the documented pattern of healthcare providers failing to take a Black woman's medical concerns seriously. Black maternal health crises. This case underscores the broader Black maternal health crisis, where Black women face disproportionately high rates of severe complications and deaths during childbirth. Black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die from pregnancy related complications compared to white women, often due to inadequate care and dismissed symptoms. I am definitely going to be doing more videos on the Black women maternal health crisis that is going on, and it continues to go on. The incident was captured in a viral TikTok video demonstrating how social media is becoming a crucial tool for exposing medical mistreatment. Public documentation has led to widespread criticism and complaints directed at this particular hospital, Dallas Regional Medical Center. But this is bigger than the Dallas Regional Medical Center. We're talking about institutional policy failures at this hospital and others across the nation. This incident reveals how hospitals' protocol that prioritize administrative procedures over emergency medical needs can be life-threatening. It highlights the need for immediate policy reforms to ensure that women in active labor receive immediate and medical attention regardless of paperwork completion. This case represents a critical example of how systemic racism intersects with healthcare delivery, potentially putting Black mothers and babies at serious risk.
Hey guys, I'm here with Mom and Baby Cash. They are doing well. He has a doctor's appointment tomorrow at the pediatric center. It's a lot of concerns. They taking tests on him. He still have to go through several other tests down the line because he was born with his eyes open, and due to the stress and trauma that occurred in the triage area, the baby had a bowel movement in Mom, and the fluids was green, and like I said, he born with his eyes open. So they are, taking all that in consideration as well. But he's eating well, sleeping well, looking good. And I was also reading a lot of the comments, and some of you under the impression it was twins. They are not twins. This is daughter with baby Cash, and this is other daughter with baby DJ. They are a month apart. DJ born 10/10 and KJ born 11/11. Thank you again for your support and your concerns, and we will most definitely keep you updated.
Listen, this situation has an happy ending because the baby is healthy, right? 7 pounds and 12 ounces, born on 11/11. 11/11 means manifestation, but we have a Black maternal health crisis. we have a healthcare crisis in this nation overall. They just, we just got finished dealing with a 50 day government shutdown. Healthcare premiums under Obamacare is up. Congress is not doing their job. They don't care. So I'm calling out the Jasmine Crockett's. Where you at? Because this is your neck of the woods. I wouldn't be surprised if this hospital was in her district. Is she going to speak up about this incident in her state, near her district? I wonder. She should, because every time she's in front of a camera, she's always talking about black this, black that, racism this. Trump is a racist. You white people in Congress are racist. So this is a prime opportunity for the Roland Martins, even the Breakfast Club, all of the Congressional Black Caucus, because y'all don't do shit anyway. But this is the perfect time to highlight Black maternal health care crisis. But you know what's going to happen? Those people in power, in charge, in Congress that can pass public policies to make women healthcare, particularly Black women healthcare, more better, they're going to be silent on this. Even though this got over 30 million views, they're going to be silent on this because they're worried about the Epstein files. They're not worried about real people and what is happening to us, the American people, today, right now. And that is what needs to be talked about. That is what needs to be addressed. And then I'm also want to encourage women, particularly Black women, create a circle, especially if, I don't care if she's married or not. That's not the point, because even if she is married or even if her partner is active, which they should be, and that's very important, you still need a village of support. There have been women, Black women who have money, who had the resources. You talk about Serena Williams, and I believe it was an Olympic track star who died because she was home alone, pregnant. So you need a village of people to help you during this journey of motherhood. We always want to have this conversation of, oh, Black women, they have the highest rate of abortions. We need to have more babies. We need to save our babies. You don't need to be having abortions. Okay. So why are you not helping the Black women that are pregnant to make sure that they are delivering healthy babies? So that if when that pregnancy stick turn blue, or you get the two lines, the positive symbol, the first thing that she will not have to think about is, should I keep it or not? Because a lot of times women, they think about having an abortion because they don't have the support for healthcare going through the pregnancy and after the baby is born. So why are we not investing in Black motherhood? When I'm talking about public policies, that's number one. I'm talking about our communities. I'm talking about our families. I'm talking about our partners, our husbands, boyfriends. We have to start making that change, because this has been a crisis since slavery. I'm sorry. And it has not gotten better. We have so much advanced technology, but Black women are still dying to give birth at a higher rate than anybody else. You have all these resources that went to illegals. You have these illegal migrants coming here, having anchor babies, receiving better care than Black American citizens. That is a problem. No woman should be treated the way Carrie Jones was treated. So I want to know, all you liberal lovers, all of you Democrats, and even you Republicans, I want to know you're going to talk about this. Is Jasmine Crockett going to say the name Carrie Jones, the woman at Dallas Regional Medical Center? I bet you she won't. But if Congress doesn't act, we, the people, need to force them to act. And I love the fact that social media from throughout this nation, throughout the world, has been reporting on this. White women, black women, all, men. So I love the fact that they have put attention on this, but we need to expand this conversation and put the pressure on our government to pass public policies to help Black women in the healthcare system and to improve our healthcare system overall. But here goes some clips of people speaking out and showing support to Carrie Jones.
Fuck! When's your due date?
Whatever you're doing right now, I need you to stop and watch this video.
Fuck! When's your due date? Right now!
So you don't have to be an OBGYN. You don't have to have any medical knowledge to know that this woman is in distress.
Is your due date 11?
For those primal screams, not to invoke an ounce of humanity. Think about that.
What? How many times have you been pregnant?
Seriously, who gives a fuck? A baby's coming.
3! This is your 3rd pregnancy? Yes! You have 2 babies. It's in my ass!
3rd baby, it's in my ass, means she's going to have a baby on the floor unless she gets that woman to a room now.
You have 2 babies at home? Who's your doctor?
Lang is her doctor.
Let's talk about this Dallas video because it's not just bad behavior, it's dangerous, it's discriminatory, and it's why Black women in this country keep dying. The young woman's in active labor, and clinically we all know that priorities shift. Intake stops, and your eyes should be on that mom and the baby. But instead, we're watching a nurse sit there asking frivolous questions while a Black woman is clearly in distress, progressing, and not treated with the urgency and dignity that she deserves. It's not just rude, it's dangerous. It's egregious, and it's actually disgusting medical care. And I need y'all to understand something, that as a Black OBGYN, this is not an isolated incident. This is a culture. And this is what happens when a healthcare system that is not designed for anyone outside the majority, this is how it affects and shapes the legacy and how Black women are treated in real time. This is our maternal mortality numbers. This is how Black women end up ignored, undiagnosed, untreated, and unprotected. It's a bias, it's systematic, and it's behavior like this that gets passed down, normalized, excused. This is a culture problem in Dallas, Texas probably as a whole. And a culture doesn't change with a press release. It changes with accountability, retraining, leadership, consequences, and a refusal to let people like this touch patients. So, in closing, Black women deserve urgency, compassion, and clinical excellence. This ain't it. What we saw was unacceptable, and it's time that the healthcare system finally stops pretending that this doesn't happen. You need to do better.
This is the second time I've had to come on TikTok in the last 4 months about nurses behaving badly. And oh my gosh, Dallas Regional Medical Center, that nurse, that woman that was in active labor, how dare you? We take a Hippocratic oath. Do no harm. She is standing up. She is crying. She is in so much pain, and you say, I cannot help. I hope that woman sues the shit out of that hospital. Hope she gets a big old house, drives a big, beautiful car, all because of that nurse. And I'm telling you, if you live in that area and you have an ambulance call, you need to call an ambulance on your family members. I'd say don't take me there. Don't take my mom there. There is no way. And the staff knows who they have underneath them. They know who slacks. They know who are jerks. Shame on Dallas Regional Medical Center. Shame on you.
So far, I've been getting a lot of similar comments to this one where people are saying that Dallas Regional Medical Hospital just overall has a bad reputation. It's not just if a woman goes there to give birth, but just patients in general. And I guess it makes sense why the person that was recording her had this to say.
I bet y'all listen next time. When you found out you was delivering at this hospital, your ass should have changed doctors.
Now, for people that don't know the reputation of the hospital, we can only judge the nurse based off the video that we saw, right? And that nurse herself, it just seems as if she just did not care about that woman. And I think if you're going to go into the medical field, you have to have compassion for people. It needs to be a passion. If you're just going there to make money and that's it, you're going to have the attitude that that nurse had towards that young lady. There are some nurses that are phenomenal people and they go into that profession because they care about people. But sometimes you come across someone like that lady that you can see in that video. She did not give a shit.
Dallas Regional, have them direct your call.
And you tell that bitch LaCrystal we on her motherfucking ass.
Yes, ma'am. I will tell
Thank
her.
you.
I'm sorry to keep holding. How can I help you?
Why take in black patients if you want to treat them right?
I'm sorry, say that again, ma'am?
Why take in black patients if you want to treat them right?
Ma'am, we do know about that. We're marking down the complaints about it. I can't really go into it, honestly, but I will let them know that you called and are complaining about it, and we've had many calls, trust me. Okay?
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
You came into my life, sent from above. Better, you came into my life.
So, in conclusion, I'm so happy that Baby Cash, 1111, 7 pounds, 7 ounces. Look at those numbers. Look at those numbers. That is a blessing. All women need equal access to healthcare, to good healthcare. No matter how much money you have, no matter your background. But there is a serious healthcare crisis when it comes to Black women overall, and especially in the Black maternal sector. And it has to stop. We need to start demanding better treatment. And listen, please go follow Mom on TikTok, support, donate, create communities to help women who are pregnant where you live at. And let's start talking about this more and putting pressure on our government to do better, to start passing public policies that are going to help Black women and that's going to improve and change our healthcare system here in the United States of America, because this should not be happening. And listen, I am so happy she had a healthy baby, and I encourage all women to create your circle of love, your circle of support, so that you won't never have to experience anything like this. And thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Dana with the Data. And if you want to see more videos like this, please let me know in the comment section. Share this video, like this video, and comment below and share your thoughts about Black women maternity health crisis, Carrie Jones situation. And if you want to talk about or share your story of experiencing any type of malpractice that you experience when it comes to hospitals or doctors, please do that. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Dana with the data. Dana with the data.